Good morning, Ted and Valerie.
Hey, I'm Bob. Okay, that never gets old. Let me show you how we created this entire video in just a few clicks using Toonbee.
So if I were to ask you, just because we weren't recording then, what you think maybe the most consequential thing we should be talking about right now is, as it relates to suffering and everything that's
Microphone check, audio check.
Video,
Good.
audio,
Good.
plus.
Thank you.
going on in society, what would that answer be?
I think it's AI, but it's not just AI, it's nanotechnology. It's how technology, the rapid change in technology, and if you don't believe it's going to destroy humanity, and it's going to liberate us from a lot of labor, if you believe that, the ones that promote that concept. If that does happen and we displace this many jobs in this short a period of time, jobs are not just money. Jobs are meaning. It's not the only form of meaning, but it's meaning. So it's like you talk about, well, give people UBI, and okay, I think you might have to, because the change is going to happen so rapidly. Like I said, farming, 80% of us were farmers 150 years ago. Now it's 3% and we feed the world. That's a long transition. I think I mentioned to you off the air here, I was visiting with President Obama 10 years ago and towards the end of his term there. And I was saying, hey, I just got to talk to you. You inherited a pretty tough economy from the original 2008 explosion breakdown. We lost 8 million jobs. So I said, there's technology coming right now that we can predict is going to displace more than those 8 million jobs. And I talked to him at that time I said, just take one, like self-driving cars. We were just starting to come out. I said, in the next 10, 12, 13, 14 years, they're going to become ubiquitous. And I said, there's 8 million truck drivers, Uber drivers, and taxi drivers. And are you doing anything to retool them? I said, because
just in the US.
Just in the US. I said, because if you don't, think about this. If I'm a business person and I can hire a person to drive a truck only 8 hours a day. I have to pay for the healthcare, which gets more expensive every year. They're going to bitch at me about things. And I can buy a truck that can drive 24 hours a day, and my insurance is cheaper because it doesn't make mistakes, and I can depreciate the asset. Am I going to hire anybody? I said, so those jobs are going to go away. That's 8 million. That's one sector. We could look at farming. There's so many industries affected. So I said, we've got to retool those people now, or there's 10 years to gear them up. They're not people that are going to do it on their own, and they're going to be shocked. The shock to their system, the loss of dignity, of being in control, agency of their own life, of their own job, of their own direction is huge. And if you go back to like the Luddites, you're from the UK, right? You must know your history there. 1800s, mercantile, they'd come up with these machines, and how did people react? And by the way, this story is the same across history. We have a radical change like this. All these people are displaced, and what did? They rioted. They took hammers and they destroyed those machines. They threatened to kill the owners of those companies, and some were shot and killed. They blew up and firebombed places. And what did the UK, do about this? They passed a law in the first year of this, these Luddites, saying, you destroy a machine, it's capital punishment. They hung people because they couldn't have them destroy the growth of the economy, right? And guess what? 15 years later, the same thing happened again with the thrashers. Thrasher machines that were used for wheat, and they lost all the jobs, and the people and the government overreacted. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, but if anyone thinks this transition is just going to be smooth by us doing nothing, they're wrong. And the problem is, as I mentioned to you before, I think the leverage is not in favor of us taking care of society. The leverage is the carrot and the stick. The carrot is I can make $1 trillion if I have the right LLM, or, if I get to artificial general intelligence, who knows? And if we don't do it, China's going to do it. That's the stick. And then they're going to run the world. So there's no focus on safety virtually, as you well know. And there's certainly no focus on what's happening with these jobs. Right now, high school students are getting jobs more than college students for the first time in 50 years. Right? You see the displacement. You got friends just like I do. Mark Benioff's one of my dear friends. They let go of what was it? I think it was it 5,000 customer service agents? And now it's done with AI now. Now he wants to elevate them to other jobs. So we have to look at what this means to our society. We have to anticipate what this means. And we've got to retool not just the jobs, but the psychology, because people talk about a post-work world. You hear people talk about this all the time. Elon, people like that. Labor is not like electricity. You just take it for granted. It's so cheap. It's so easy. Well, if that's true, and he's talking 3 to 5 years. And a lot of people say Elon's early. He usually is in his predictions. But Ray Kurzweil is a good friend of mine. He's the most accurate predictor of technology in history. And he's been saying 2029 for almost 20 years is when you have artificial general intelligence. If you go to Hinton, I think you've interviewed Hinton, haven't you? Right? So he's the longest. He's saying 2030 to 2040. He's giving us a little more room. In the next 3 to 10 years, this is going to happen. How are we prepared for this? And so this is the questions I'm trying to bring up to people that have influence to say, if you're in business, you got to take a look at this. If you're in government, you got to take a look at this. And so I just got, they haven't announced yet, but I just got selected to be on the Federal Advisory Committee for the president and for the Health and Human Services. And I'm on the mental health side. And I'm hoping to use that position to bring more of government's focus into this category as well, because it's got to be addressed.
When we recite these,
and that's, by the way, the answer to your question is, and that's suffering. That's
Yeah.
suffering at the highest level, not just financial suffering. That's emotional suffering. That's loss of identity suffering. If I am a coder, I am a truck driver, and I lose who I am. Now, I just want to say one last thing. We've already been in a post-work world, because one person said to me recently, well, for 4,000 years, we've tied our identity to our work. I said, no, Americans all go, what do you do? Not everybody in the world does that. And for 4,000 years, our connection before the agricultural revolution was really what tribe we're connected to, and our sense of significance was maybe our courage in battle, not our financial component, or maybe it was our creativity, our poetry, our storytelling capacity, or maybe it was our generosity, maybe it was our wisdom. So we can find other things to have meaning besides a job, but if you don't take a culture that's been conditioned for 200 years to think a certain way, we're going to have a lot of pain, and I would like to see us have less of that if we could. And I'm only one person, but I'll do my best to help people make that transition.
It's funny because when we think about those historical examples of transition, I, for many reasons, think this is even more extreme.
I agree.
Because you have intelligence and you've basically disrupted both the muscles and the mind.
But you know, the reason it's going to explode even faster is because we're moving from LLMs to now actually studying visually what's happening in the real world. Mm-hmm. And when robots do that, then the game changes their tempo of learning. And just think about this. You and I are having a conversation. I picked up one of your books here and I'm reading through your books. So I want to get a feel for who you are and everything else before I came here. I've seen some of your videos, I really enjoyed it. But I had to go get that. I had to take a couple hours to dig through that. You and I have a conversation. If either one of us learns something or a machine, every machine knows it instantly. You push one button and they have all of that knowledge. There's none of this word transfer. It's now. So people don't realize what this really means. And when you're learning from the real world, not just LLMs, right now, you and I, our brains are predictive devices. They're predicting what is going to happen next to the best of their ability. And we're trying to close that gap as much as we can, or we get jolted. Well, think how predictively that's going to do to people's heads when all of a sudden their labor is not needed. And it's no longer blue collar labor, which is what people thought it would be. It's white collar labor. I mean, like my financial, I own 95 different private equity firms. I own the firms, not the actual funds, right? So I get the 2 and 20 of them, and I got pieces of all of them. So they're the biggest in the world. And so I get to take a look at some of the things that are happening so fast. And I look at all those jobs and I see people in those industries, and quantum is took over maybe 5 years ago. I've seen the shrink in these offices from staffs, the guys who were making $5 million, $10 million a year, they're now unemployed. Right? It's not just the blue collar worker, it's everyone. So you're right, this has never happened before in history, and what's being done about it?
What if your next move wasn't just a move, but a lifestyle upgrade? Less maintenance, less stress, more...
What's being done about it?
More money's been poured into it to accelerate it.
The carrot and stick, the trillionaire in China, those two pieces are driving it all. And a few people are trying to hammer, like Hinton and a few other people, we got to work on safety here so it doesn't eliminate the human race. And I'm not a reactionary person, but, you know, of 25-30% of the people that work in AI say that they think it could potentially do that. I mean, like, you could use electricity to kill people or light up a city. So all technology has that challenge, but this is a different technology. This is a technology that keeps learning, can replicate itself. Right now, they don't even know how some of this actually works. They don't know how the AI is actually working. It's teaching itself. These AIs now have their own language. I'm sure you know. They're talking no longer in English to each other. And, I'm sure you've seen the studies, right? Where they give them information in the email, and then they say they're going to shut off the AI, and it blackmails them by giving them fake information about somebody having an affair, and it blackmails them. I mean, it lies. So we're living in a crazy world where the opportunity is greater than any time in history for us to be creators. We were created and we're meant to create, and we've got tools to create like never before. But we're going to have to make sure that as we're doing that, we've got some parameters around safety and some parameters about what does it do to society. And I don't have the perfect answers for it, but I do know one thing. Retooling is the answer. And I don't believe most people will be replaced by an AI. They'll be replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI.
Yeah, one of the things you said there really blew my mind when I watched a video from Boston Dynamics this week where the guy explained how these robots are going to learn. And he goes, there's two ways. One way is we're going to get our factory workers to wear a suit, and every time the factory worker does something, all the robots are going to learn that thing. And the other thing is, he said, is if one of our robots learns something, whether it's how to pick up a book or how to make an omelette, every robot learns it instantaneously. And my mind was like, wow, I personally don't know where this leaves us. So that's kind of...
Well, neither do I, but there's certain things it's leading us towards. It's going to lead us to a great deal of violence, because there are going to be people, like have always happened when technology displaces them. This is going to be a global event across multiple areas. It's not just drivers of Ubers and truck drivers. If we don't get our act together and have a plan, there's going to be violence for some period of time. There's that grief period of loss and that people go through when something jars them that much. And some people don't return from that grief. And some people are going to take this technology and they're going to go off. It's already happening now, even without AI. There are more males at home, 25 to 35, living at home with their family, not working, than any time in human history, including the Depression, right? There are, I think it's 25%, or I think it was 30%, I forgot the number, just saw it recently, of young men have never approached a woman to ask her out for a date. They play video games all day long, their mom does their laundry, and they order Uber Eats. This is a mass number of people. That's just the technology of getting somebody gamified. Imagine with AI. So some people are going to go live there, and some people are going to go the Star Trek route and say, I'm going to figure out what makes human existence be here. But it's not hard to figure out. The majority are not going to go the Star Trek route. And so we've got to have a bridge because of the time compression. If this was 100 years to do it, we could adjust. There will be more jobs. There'll be new jobs. There'll be new time. But it's the time frame that I'm most concerned about. So when you ask me what I'm concerned about, that's what I'm concerned about, because it creates suffering. And it's something that we can predict is going to create suffering. And yet I see very few people in positions of influence and power doing much about it.
So on an individual level, if you were an 18-year-old Tony Robbins, what would you be doing at this moment? What would you be focusing on work-wise? How would you be designing your life for such a world?
I have 5 kids and 5 grandkids, right? So I have a 52-year-old daughter, and I have thanks to COVID, a 4-year-old daughter. So COVID was good to me. I was home. So I look at my especially my grandkids and my daughter, and I say they're entering a world that none of us have known before. And so how do I arm them for it? And the answer is a couple of things. Number one, I have to teach them not to do what most people in the world do. Most people you talk to, of any, even quote, successful people, whatever that means, they're stressed all the time. Stress. I'm so stressed. You hear people talk about stress all the time. It's like they argue about who's more stressed. And I look at that and go, why are they stressed? And the answer is because they're managing their life. We're not made to manage circumstances. We're made to create. We were created by something. Call it your creator, call it the universe, call it God, whatever you want to call it. And we were made to create. And when we create, we're alive. When we just try to maintain or manage or hold on to something, if we're just caught up in making a living instead of designing a life, life is a bitch. And that's why so many people have so many challenges. So I'm teaching my kids to be creators, and I teach them the second piece, the most important thing, I believe, that's made me successful. And anyone I've ever interviewed, you interviewed 1 million people, you see if you agree or disagree with me. The 3 most important skills in life now are the ones that allow you to learn more rapidly. If you learn rapidly, you can win no matter what happens with the technology. And what are those 3 skills? Number 1, the skill of pattern recognition. When you can recognize patterns, you eliminate fear. Fear comes from, this has never happened before. I don't know what this is. Chaos. Like I hear people all the time talk about how we've never been this place politically. We're here in America. We're going to have a civil war. And they don't do any history whatsoever. I have these two placards that I have because back then they didn't have ads, right? They had placards. And one is from Thomas Jefferson talking about Adams and one from Adams about Jefferson. And they said stuff that make Republicans and Democrats look like they're nice to each other. I mean, it's just unbelievable that stuff they said. This is a cycle. And so when you recognize a pattern, it gives you power, potential power at least. The first power is you're not afraid anymore. You go, no, this is not something that's never happened. This is not something that's I can see this. I can see how this has been dealt with. What took us from living in fear, from being hunter-gatherers or trying to survive every day, didn't know if we're going to survive every day, to being able to stay in one place? What pattern recognition?
I was going to say the seasons, but
you got it.
Really?
That's it. The seasons. I figured you got it. The seasons, because before that, you could do the right thing at the wrong time and you get pain. And 3 of the 4 seasons are the wrong time. So once we figured out, oh my God, if I plant in the spring and I take care through the hot summer, I get this big reaping. And if I hang on to some of it to make it through the winter, I can live here. I don't have to worry. All my fear disappears. So the minute we understood seasons, it changed humanity. And by the way, there's the seasons to your life. You could say 0 to 21 is springtime. Springtime, how hard is it for something to grow in springtime? If you start a business in an economic spring where everybody's optimistic, you think you're a genius, you're just in the right season, right? Mm-hmm. So 0 to 21, you're taken care of. And that season, you grow like crazy. Somewhere around, roughly, and everyone's different, 21, 22 years old, you go to the next stage, 22 to 42, and that's your summertime. That's the testing period of your life. What happens? You are 21, you've heard all this stuff, and now you go, you know what? I don't know if I believe this bullshit. I want to see what I believe. I'm going to test. All history, all studies of psychology show this is the most difficult time in most people's lives, right? 22 to 42. So if you're in that range and you're listening, I love you. Hang in there. This is your ground. If you keep growing, this is a great time, all right? Somewhere in that range, you make this transition. Somewhere around 30, 35, you're 33, you just got engaged. Congratulations, right? You start to move towards a family. You start to have those experiences. I'm sure yours will be very successful. Many aren't, right? So at 43 to 63, that's the fall. If you planted in the spring, right, and you worked your tail off during that hot summer, now you can do more with your pinky than working around the clock. You know more people, you have relationships, you recognize the patterns, you know what's going on. Nothing's really a shock or surprise to you. You're more strategic, you're more efficient, you're more elegant, you have more choices. You've learned a lot of lessons. If you didn't plant in the spring and work hard in the summer, you're going to weep in the fall, not reap in the fall, right? But so now this is your power period. This is when most people earn the most money in their life if they're going to grow because they've accumulated knowledge, skills, relationships, and so forth. And then the winter, because she comes back to that, 64 to 84 to 104 to the oldest humans, 124. That period is a transition period to where you become a real leader because you're no longer, that 22 to 42, you're trying to prove yourself to yourself or maybe other people or both. But there's a point when you get into your power group, you know who you are. By the time you get into this last season, this, 64 to 84, 104, 124, you know who the F you are. I mean, and you want people to like what you do, but if they don't, it's like, you know who you are. You don't give a shit. I've just entered that season myself. I'm about to be 66 in a few weeks. And, it's the most fulfilling season of all. It's mind-boggling. I wouldn't believe that when I was your age. That's why I'm sharing it. If you're healthy, if you're fit, if you're strong. If you don't do that, then it can be a bitch that time. But if you're healthy and strong, you have 40-year relationships, 35-year business relationships. You have friends that adore you and love them, and it's unbreakable. It's unshakable. You have an intimate relationship or a family or husband and wife relationship you've built to that point that is beyond anything you'd have dreamed of or hoped for. You wake up every day and you know that life is a gift and you want to give back even more. Like you're more driven than you were when you were in the 22 to 42 stage. Those are the seasons. There's one more. There's seasons of history. And your season of history shapes how you shape your life. So you can look at 1,000 years of Roman history. I'm very much into history, and 500 years of Anglo-American history. and you start to see patterns. In fact, I'd recommend for everyone, there's a book called Generations. Have you read it?
No.
When I was working with President Clinton, in those days, I worked with President Clinton. I went across the other side and worked with the Speaker of the House, Gingrich. On the same day, on Clinton's, on his desk, on the Resolute desk, was this book, Generations. And I asked him about it. And he told me about how it's amazing. It shows how history is somewhat predictable and why the cycles are generated by different generations, how we react to the way we grew up. And then I go over to Gingrich's office, and he's a historian. He's got it on his desk.
Really?
It's a pretty thick book, good-sized book. My point is, if you want to navigate your life, you need pattern recognition so you don't go in reaction. And one thing is to understand seasons are a great pattern. They freed us. There are seasons of your life. You should think about this season. What's this season about for you? What do you want to extract from this season? And every season has predictable challenges and predictable opportunities. And where am I in the season? Some people go through their springtime during a war or wintertime. Some people go through springtime in a fall. We all grew up with different environments. And so we're shaped by that. And that's why history's changed. So, but let me finish the last piece. I've gone way long. I apologize. But
Good.
I said there's 3 skills. What do we need, right? First one is pattern recognition. The second one is pattern utilization. So I watch you and I both, we developed companies, took them public very early ages, made a lot of money and figured out it wasn't just about money, right? Looking at your history, you didn't just recognize patterns, you used them. You saw them in marketing areas. You saw online opportunities. You saw things. You didn't just, oh, now I understand it. You jumped on it. Anyone who's incredibly successful in anything, if they're great at dance, if they're great at investing in companies, if they're great in running companies, if they're great in singing, they recognize there are certain patterns. And then the final skill, and this is what I'm teaching my children, is you ultimately want to become a pattern creator. You take an example, say learn to play the piano, right?
Yeah.
How do you learn to play the piano? You got to recognize patterns, and usually you're taught someone else's patterns that produce something beautiful, right? Could be Bach, Beethoven, could be some rock, could be whatever you're learning. And so you learn those patterns, and you practice them. You learn to use them, right? And now you can produce the same music. There is a point, and I'm sure you've experienced this already, and you're going to experience a lot more in the next 10 years of your life. You've taken so much input in, you've recognized so many patterns that now you come through, and you become the pattern creator.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become
Woo. Woo, woo, woo. Hello, y'all. Pattern recognition.
Be the pattern,
Hello.
live the pattern.
Yeah.
Don't
Good
play with me.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
That was
Good
a
morning.
well. Good morning. Good morning. That was a well information and very thorough. I gotta get a copy of that one. Oh man, that was I really need to sit down and listen to more, rewind that again because really it is nerve-wracking. And once again, CJ, you did it again, man. Back to you.
Hey, listen, man. I don't know if you guys got it, but it came out screaming at me. If you're healthy, if you're strong. Let me say it again. If you're healthy, if you're strong, AI take over, you live too long, whatever, your career, you start, you fail, you start.
Mornings. It's by Tony Robbins. I don't know what the name of the video was. You posted it.
Can you hear me, Ted?
Certainly can. Sorry.
Sorry for the interruptions. So, thank you, KJ. I would strongly urge all of us to get a hold of that book, Generations. Didn't get the name of the author, but it's good reading. So, my word to all of us this morning, whatever you're going through, besides do not quit, stay healthy, stay strong, Dr. Lloyd, could you do us the honors this morning, please, if you don't mind?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Momentum Mornings. We're here to motivate one another, inform, and learn. If you are new here, we'd love to hear from you. Please unmute yourself, tell us your name and who invited you to the meeting. We would like to make sure you get the information that you are looking for on this call, or at least to give you information as to what we see is a great opportunity with Atomy. So we'd love to have everyone participate. And thank you, CJ, for all you do with this meeting. Back to you.
Well, back at you, Dr. Lloyd. I thank you for all you do. I really, that last video that you posted on YouTube about the gold
Night cream. 24 karat gold night mask, they call it.
Right. You can tell that I'm tripping, but
that's all right.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of products. It's a lot of things. That's okay.
Yeah, so much. Well, listen, can you just say it again for all of us? Because we need to get onto it. Please.
Sure. It's the 24 karat gold night mask. Atomy has a 24 karat gold night mask. And when you go to high-end aesthetic salons, where you get facials, where you go and get plastic surgery and all the facials and the chemical peels and the various things to make your skin look good. But when they do a facial, if you go to a spa or high-end hotel, for instance, and go in their spa, a lot of times the facials, they'll give you an option of having a 24 karat gold added to your facial or included, or, it's one of those premium brand things that you can get. It's actual gold in the creams. So, what this looks like is like a combination of cream serum type thing, but it gives your face a glow, because the particles of gold in the cream reflects the light off your skin, so it gives you a luminous glow. So it's popular for those people who can afford it. The thing with Atomy, it's only $41, as opposed to if you buy Chanel, Lancome, or other companies that are high end, it's in the hundreds. It could be $200, it could be $400, $800. So yes. So that's a little bit about the 24 karat gold night cream, or night mask, they call it.
And I think I'm going to just feature it right now, Dr. Lloyd, before we get into our main program for the morning. I got to feature it. And that was a great job, Dr. Lloyd. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, CJ.
This future, if something unexpected happens, protect your family, home, and assets with proven, successful, and low-cost.
Are you ready to wake up to truly luminous and revitalized skin? Introducing the Atomy Absolute 24 karat gold night mask, your secret to ageless beauty every single night. This isn't just another night cream. Crafted with a unique high molecular network, it delivers 24 karat gold ingredients, moisture, and vital nutrients deep into your skin, locking them in as you sleep. Imagine improved skin barrier function, refined texture, and a more even skin tone. And that luxurious saffron scent, it's designed to enhance your sleep quality so you wake up not just looking, but feeling refreshed. Now, let's talk about value. You might be familiar with high-end, gold-infused skincare from brands like Lancome and Chanel. But did you know that many of these prestigious products, including Atomy's, are developed by the same world-renowned beauty manufacturer, Colmar? This means you're getting cutting-edge science and premium quality. The Atomy Absolute 24K Gold Night Mask is available in the US for $41 for 50 milliliters. Let's compare that to some other Colmar manufactured luxury creams on the market. A 2 fluid ounce, approximately 59 milliliters, Lancome Absolute Longevity Gold Soft Cream from the same manufacturer is priced at $285. Furthermore, the Chanel Sublimage La Creme Gold Cream ranges from $485 for 50 milliliters, and the Chanel Sublimage L'Extrait de Creme Gold Cream sells at $825. The difference is clear. With the Atomy Absolute 24 Karat Gold Night Mask, you're investing in advanced skincare technology and premium ingredients, developed by the same expert hands as other luxury brands, but at a much lower price, making radiant skin more accessible to everyone. Experience the power of 24 karat gold, an innovative science. Replenish, revitalize, and rejuvenate your skin overnight. Transform your nightly routine with Atomy Absolute 24K Gold Night Mask. If you are not already an Atomy member, you can sign up for free via your sponsor. As an Atomy member, you can enjoy the app.
I tell you, Dr. Lloyd, yeah, la creme. La creme, la creme, la creme. De la creme. And I love to applaud excellence, indeed. And we have some excellent products. Absolute quality, absolute price. I really would like to welcome those who are new to the show this morning. We want to still give you a quick minute to unmute, if you don't mind. And thank you, Dr. Lloyd, for inviting the new ones to step up. So if you're new here, let's just quickly unmute, if you don't mind. And tell us your name, who invited you. Are you an Atomian?
Good morning.
Okay, all right.
Good morning. My name is Helene Slater. I'm Ted's wife. So I'm here. I really enjoyed the video you put forward. Very interesting, and I look for many more to come.
And
welcome, Helene.
Hi.
Sorry. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're on. Good to hear you.
Yes.
Glad you're on, Helen. So obviously, Dr. Lloyd invited you. Is that what I'm to conclude here?
Ted is her husband.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome and come again and invite a friend or two or three. And I want to recognize a good friend of mine. Oh, my dear Vanessa. How are you, Vanessa? If you don't mind, can you speak?
Of course, I can speak. Good morning. Good morning to all the champions. Good morning. I actually logged on at the right time,
Oh my God.
with the right message. And one of the one of the interesting things about this season that he's talking about,
Yes.
for a lot
Yes.
of us, that if we're still in the same place where we were last year or last month, we have
Mm.
the opportunity, because we are creators, we've made in the image and likeness of our Father. So the characteristic, one of the many characteristics, is that we get to create,
Yes.
and look at those patterns, write the
Yes.
patterns down that we no longer serve.
Oh my
Any
God.
patterns that no longer serve us, write them down. But on the other side of the page, we write down what we are declaring to be right now, not later, not in the future, but right
Mm.
now. I am successfully XYZ. Make it clear, make it plain, write the
Yes.
vision, make it very detailed. But this time around, if
Yes.
you're in your later stage in life, now it's time to go bigger. Now is where we are walking in the um, all things are possible. We're now in the place where the fishes and the loaves come from. There's no limits right now. There's
Mm.
no limits Now it's time to sit down and create like a little child. Because one, you can't even
Wow.
enter into the kingdom unless you come as a little child. And little
Wow.
children just play. They create in their imagination. It's time to stretch it. But here's the thing, and as I always say, CJ, this is the kicker. It's taking what we write down, keep it
Yeah.
with you all times. Keep it
Yeah.
with you, looking, visualizing, touching it, smelling it, going to it, um, and expecting to see it right now. There's no more delays. No more delays. So I just want to share that that video you're really led by the Spirit, CJ. That's so powerful.
Well, I guess we can all go home now. Yeah, I'm ready to go home. Right? Yeah, I can just shut down and aja, aja, aja. You know.
That's okay, CJ. I'll take over. My wife will help me, and Antoinette will partner with me.
Of course. Yeah, but yeah, thanks that now I know. Now I know. So get ready, cause yeah,
But
I
I
thank
agree
you.
with
Just having
Vanessa.
your back. Just having your back, brother.
All right, brother.
I want to
Thank
second what Vanessa said, especially about do what you can do now.
yeah,
Now is really all the time we have. Yesterday is past.
yes,
Tomorrow
yeah.
is not here. Let us do what we can do right now. I believe in carpe diem, seize the opportunity while you have it. We are in a good place at a good time.
Yeah.
Atomy has plans for AI that's incredible. They're face forward, and I really think this is a good opportunity for all of us. And while we have it, don't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm. 6 runs. And where I come from, 6 runs mean 6 runs. Yep. That's a home hit. That's a home run. Uh, I think I'm inclined to take the show in a certain direction. I kind of want to go on the inside, but um, uh, I'm telling you, thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me let me just play a little clip here. I think it might be relevant to the moment. Um, uh, gosh. Um, let me play this. Seeing my screen, hearing my audio.
Yes.
We see the screen, but there's no audio yet.
Whoa.
Let's try again. It's an MP3, so I always get a challenge when I play these MP3s.
Oh, okay.
Okay, how are we now?
No audio.
No audio. Oh gosh. Ah,
See the image.
It's a still image, so you may have to play on it again.
How about now?
No audio.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to jump over this one. Sorry, guys. We're not getting audio on this MP3. Okay. So we are talking about seasons here, and we are talking about pattern recognition. And so I thank you, Vanessa, for joining us this morning. And that was word. That was word. So as I was saying, we have been focusing a lot on the outside, the skin, the hair, the face. But
The
for
last one, the secrets of old age.
you're saying something, Ted?
Survive by. Skills to learn and survive by is this topic. I'm not sure what the name of it. But it's by Tony Robbins.
Ted, mute your mic.
Okay. All right. I think for this morning we could take a little stroll. I want to talk about the probiotics. I think it's time we pay attention to our gut health. We revisit that subject because all inflammation starts in the gut, and we need to make that a central theme in this experience. Anthony Robbins just said, whatever the season, and especially as we move into the summer, into the autumn, into the winter, you want to stay strong and you want to stay healthy. No point being in your autumn years and in your winter years and you're struggling and you're a burden to others and to yourself. So we could take a minute and talk about the microbiome health and all about our probiotics. So bear with me. I want to bring on stage real quick a video or two that addresses the issue of let's see. Yeah. Okay. Ever heard of Dr. Okay, let me do this.
If it doesn't work for you, we promise 10 times your money back. This product works in just 1 second to fit perfectly and is suitable for everyone. Simply soak it in hot water to activate the elastic material and have your new dentures. We promise to...
Vegetables are actually medicines. You gotta think of it like that. Look, there's so many million species of vegetables and plants available. But how come we only eat a few of them? Because the rest of them are all poisonous. So they have a chemistry, adverse chemistry. The ones that we do eat can also be adverse to us to some extent. And we do know that there are things that certain plants have a lot of lectins in them, for example. Other plants have certain medicinal properties. So I look at plant food as a medicinal food. The medicinal food that I really love are cruciferous vegetables. Vegetables that have a lot of sulfur in them, for example. So all the broccoli, Brussels sprouts, broccoli sprouts. By the way, broccoli sprouts. All right, let's come back to broccoli sprouts. You want to break your fast? Go and get some broccoli sprouts. So what happens is that they have this thing called sulforaphanes in them. Okay, these sulforaphanes get released into your body and they stimulate a lot of the enhance the anti-inflammatory responses in the body. And the repair mechanisms and possibly the stem cell mobilization is increased by eating those types of foods. So all cruciferous vegetables are fantastic for you. All of them. So that's what I would encourage people to really eat cruciferous vegetables. I use that a lot. All herbs are herbs are medicinal and they all count as one vegetable. So if you want 30 vegetables in a week, already 7 or 8 of them are going to be herbs. So eat the herbs. I love herbs. So you got to look at herbs as medicinal food. I also encourage fermented foods when you break your fast, because now you want to reset your microbiome. So you must start eating fermented foods, and fermented foods will have prebiotics, postbiotics, everything all in there. So I love kefir, because kefir has so many different strains of bacteria. And now you want to repopulate your gut, because what did you do to your gut microbiome when you were fasting? You decimated it. Changed completely. All the bacteria that rely on sugar, carbs, died off. You want to fix your microbiome? Go on a fast. If you think you got a leaky gut or you have SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, just go on a fast. You'll fix your gut. Bacteria in your gut rely on you to feed them. And when you don't feed them, and if you have the bad guys in your gut, they'll eat your mucin and you'll get a leaky gut, right? You can enhance the growth of good bacteria in your gut by eating fiber. That's why I'm saying eat real food. Look, what's the difference between real food and all this artificial food? Yes, the biggest thing is that it's been stripped out of the fiber. The fiber's missing. Okay, forget all the chemicals that were added to it. Even a child will tell you that there's chemicals added to this food, right? There's colorings, there's artificial preservatives. But what they don't realize is that there's no fiber in it. And the fiber is not for me. I can't digest fiber. The fiber is for my bacteria. So I want to reset my gut microbiome. So this is not just for fasting. This is for all of you, every day. Why are you feeding yourself only? For what? You should be feeding yourself and all the 100 trillion buddies that you got in your gut. They need it. And it's the good bacteria that eat fiber. The bad guys eat starch and simple sugars, right? So when you're breaking a fast, you got to eat fermented foods also, because you want to rebuild the breadth and width of the variety of the microbiome and the quantity of the good ones. The fiber brings in the bacteria that produce a lot of butyric acid. Now, why is that so important? Because butyric acid is a postbiotic. It's a product of the bacteria. In a sense, it's the poop of the bacteria. And when it gets released by the bacteria, first and foremost, it supplies energy to the colonocytes, the lining of your gut. So those gut lining get a good energy source right away. So if there's any gap junction problems, they heal themselves, because now there's more energy being given to those colonocytes. Secondly, the rest of the butyric acid gets absorbed into the bloodstream. And in the body, it's anti-inflammatory. So butyric acid is your best friend. These are short-chain fatty acids, which are produced by bacteria. Short-chain fatty acids are exceedingly important. After you break your fast, and even in your day-to-day life, you need lots of butyric acid. They are produced by specific strains of bacteria. Those bacteria will flourish if you increase your fiber intake. So I can give you those species separately as a probiotic. They're not going to get there, because by the time they get down to your colon, those bacteria are going to be dead mostly, right? Even all these others where they say, oh, it's a special preparation, blah, blah, blah. Most of them die on their way down there.
What if I told you that the moment your book is published, there could be a giant billboard featuring you and your book in Times Square? And in addition, a video trailer that tells your book's story, a paid advertisement.
a special preparation, blah, blah, blah. Most of them die on the way down there. So what I do is, look, they're there already. When you're severely fasting, a lot of bacterial species, the good ones, reside and hide in your appendix and in certain crypts, which are the little caves inside your intestinal lining. And they sit there, and they're dormant. And when the food starts coming back again, they flourish. That's how it happens. That's how you repopulate your gut, but they need the fiber. So you break your fast, you got to eat fiber. You got to eat fiber. So you go back on inulin plus FOS. And you eat other vegetables that have fiber, because you need a variety of fiber, not just one kind of fiber. That's why I like herbs and I like vegetables of different varieties, different colors, because I'm feeding my microbiome. All these phytochemicals that we talk about, the polyphenols, they're so good for me. And, polyphenols are wonderful for me. They're not good for you. They go your bacteria. And that's a nuance that I teach my patients. That, look, you're really eating for your bacteria. So the polyphenols are taken up by the good bacteria, and the good bacterial population that you have will release postbiotics besides short-chain fatty acids. They produce tons and tons of neurochemicals, neurotransmitters in the gut. Do you know what's fascinating, Jesse, is that if we think that all these micronutrients in our blood are what you manufactured and metabolized and made, all the micronutrients. And we're beginning to realize that a lot of them actually are not made by human physiology. They're consumed by human physiology. They're made by bacteria, by your symbiotic organisms, because you, human being, you're a symbiote. You are a symbiote, more than a human being. So you have to rely on the good bacteria then. You have to rely on them after a fast, and even in your day-to-day life, you need to take care of those guys. Because if you don't take care of them, you're going to get really, really sick. And yes, you may not die, but you're not going to have a healthy lifespan. So these good bacteria flourish when you start feeding them fiber. So you break your fast, you need to take the inulin variety of vegetables with the fiber in them, right? And of course, when you clean up your diet and you're not eating all these artificial sweeteners and preservatives and emulsifiers and chemicals, man-made chemicals. Oh, by the way, why are man-made chemicals so bad for you? Is it bad for you? Well, yeah, some of them are really bad for human physiology, but a lot of them are really bad for your gut microbiome. For example, if you take these artificial sweeteners, what happens is that you're destroying your microbiome with that, because they're the ones that have the genetic ability to actually do something with that artificial chemical that you put into your gut. How is that possible? Because you only have 23,000 genes, but the total genome in your gut with all your bacteria goes into the millions of genes. And one of those genes can digest that plastic that you just put in there, or your chemical that you threw inside there, or the coloring, or the whatever it is. But in doing so, that bacterial species will flourish, and that may not be good for you. See my point? So you're encouraging the growth of those bacteria simply because you put some poison into your gut. But you don't want that bacteria in there. Yeah, it's doing its job at that moment, but you want a good gut population that's good for you, that was there in your teleological years. That means your evolutionary years that you came down with. So what you're doing, you need to be aware of your microbiome. Fasting is an incredible way to reset your microbiome. And then after fasting is over, you eat the fibers to replenish the gut microbiome, and of course clean up your diet so that you still foster the growth of good microbiome. Fermented foods, fiber, phytonutrients, right? Phytonutrients. Fish oil. Oh gosh, I can't tell you much more about fish oil. Fish oil is amazing. So you got to break your fast. You got to start taking your fish oil. We are all fish oil deficient. We are all omega-3 deficient, all of us. And it's not so much a deficiency. It's really the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6. This is, look, if there are a few supplements you absolutely have to take, whether you're healthy or not, right now, all of you, you have to take vitamin D3 because all of you are vitamin D3 deficient. You should take K2 and you should take fish oil. You have to do this. You're all deficient in this. So what does omega-3 do to the gut? It changes your microbiome. It enhances the health of your gut lining as well. So now that you fasted, your gut lining is going to be much healthier with omega-3. And of course, systemically, omega-3 helps you as a human being as well, because this is the oil that you really need. In all your cell membranes, they're less likely to have lipid peroxidation. Your LDL particles will be better. They're less prone to oxidation. The fluidity of your cell membranes is better. I mean, I can just go on, and your platelets are better. And so much good physiology with omega-3. And if you're a vegetarian, there's omega-3 vegetarian forms of it, so you don't have to go out and take fish oil if you're a vegetarian. But you got to get your omega-3 up. So chia seeds.
All right,
Wonderful. I love chia seeds, right? You put chia seeds in your kefir, and you put your your raspberries, and your blackberry in it, and about 10 blueberries in it, and you have a powerhouse. So how do you break your fast? You've taken your bone broth. A few hours later, you had a little salad. Now you take your kefir, 1 bowl of it, about a cup in it, and I take inulin, 1 scoop, I put it in there. Then I take 5 raspberries. Raspberries are so fantastic. There are a lot of soluble fiber in it as well, tons of it. And plus, it's got all the phytonutrients in it. I can't tell you how important raspberries are. And then I take 5 blueberries, 2 blackberries. Okay? And when strawberries are in season, I'll have 1, maybe 1.5 or 2 strawberries, because strawberries have fantastic chemicals in them as well. So put that all in there and you eat that. Now I've eaten for myself also, but I've eaten for my bacteria as well and my gut lining. So this, and then I do that every day. This kefir every day. So you can have it as a breakfast. You can have it as a lunch break if that's what you're doing, or you can have it just before you sit down for dinner. And remember that when you are fasting, even on a day-to-day basis, you don't have to have your meal all at one time. Spread it out. Come home, put your briefcase down, have your salad, and then go check out the plans and walk around. Maybe you want to look at some paperwork that you brought home, or worse still, look at some bills that you have to pay. Spend some time doing something else. Then, half an hour later, come back and sit down and eat. Spread it out. Spread out your dinner. Maybe you'll come back and have your kefir, and then go out again for another half an hour and do something, and then come back and have your main meal. You see what I'm saying? So this is a change that we all need to make today. None of this where you sit down and you're done in 20 minutes. You've had everything, including your salad, your kefir, and your main meal, all in one meal, quickly in 20 minutes. I don't think that's a good idea. I think you need to spread it out. Your body is not supposed to get all its nutrients all in one big shot. I think it's a good idea to spread it out.
These autofocus glasses are literally indestructible, but they might
all in one big shot. I think it's a good idea to spread it out. So the microbiome is a neglected part of your health. And of course, it pertains to your fasting as well, but it's very, very important. Taking probiotic pills in and of themselves has not been part of my armamentarium. I do give a couple of probiotics, which I've chosen, particularly like Akkermansia muciniphila, which I think is very helpful in patients who have very low levels. But then I measure that first. And if they are very low in their stools, then only I'll give it to them. So there are a few. I like Lactobacillus reuteri as well in their stools. So I do those under measurement. But otherwise, No, get back to nature. Look, there's no hole in my tongue for a capsule. So I don't want to take capsules. Unfortunately, you're going to have to take fish oil, D3, and K2. Okay, those are exceptions, just because we don't get them. But otherwise, there's no hole in my mouth. So I don't want to give you capsules as such. Then the fasting, I'm trying to think about other classic things that you can do. Oh yeah, of course, when you break your fast, you need lots of nutrients, which you want to take back. So I do tell patients to take trace elements. You must take some trace elements. Okay, trace elements are very important. Everyone needs trace elements. We don't get enough in our food. So you break your fast, you take some trace elements, just a dropper, 2-3 drops. That's all you really need. Best, put in your kefir. Your kefir won't even notice the difference. Play it up. Cocoa. I love cocoa. Break a fast with some cocoa powder, organic cocoa powder. It's mostly soluble fiber, and it's a great tasting. You just take a scoop and you put it in your kefir, mix it up. Right there, I'm giving you a gem right there. Right there. That's a fantastic thing. So, yeah, so break your fast using those things.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch the full episode. I'll see you.
Okay. That's Dr. Jamna Das, world-renowned cardiologist. I'm trying here. So let's pay attention. And the message from Anthony this morning is to stay healthy, stay strong. I recommend that once a week, do a fast. Breakfast to breakfast, dinner to dinner, every week. Choose your day and do a bit of fasting. A lot of the issues that we are having in our bodies, the gut is crying out for a break. We need to feed the bacteria, the good bacteria, the healthy bacteria. And with that said, here is my feature product for this morning as it relates to taking care of the microbiome. And we have the answer right here in our Atomy cabinet. Okay. Let's talk about the Atomy probiotic.
Okay, if you bought the polyphenol-rich olive oil because of one of these doctor's ads, he owes you an apology because he left out the most important part.
My stomach feels lighter, my face feels less puffy. The polyphenols...
Why do we need probiotics? You know how they say you are what you eat? Or more accurately, you are what you feed the trillions of little critters that live in your gut? That's right, there's a lot of them. The lining of your gut, just like any other surface of your body, is covered in microscopic creatures, mostly bacteria. These organisms create a microecosystem called the microbiome, and it plays a humongous role in our health that can even affect our mood and behavior. So the healthier your microbiome is, the healthier you are, and it depends on what you feed it. Okay, so there's prebiotics and probiotics. Prebiotics are specialized plant fiber. They act like a fertilizer that stimulate the growth of already existing healthy bacteria in your gut. So basically, it's food for probiotics. Now, probiotics are different in that they contain live organisms, usually specific strains of bacteria that directly add to the existing population of healthy microbes in your gut. Prebiotics and probiotics both support the body in building and maintaining a healthy colony of bacteria and other microorganisms, which supports the gut and helps with digestion. So Atomy has two kinds of probiotics, one that is made in US and one from Korea. So this one is from Korea. It has 12 different strains of probiotics in it and contains 3 billion CFUs per sachet. Both of these probiotics are similar in many ways, but the taste and texture are different. The US probiotic also contains 12 strains of probiotics, but in addition it has 3 types of prebiotics, which is a rare thing when you buy probiotics, and also contains 10 billion CFUs per sachet. So what are some benefits of probiotics? Helps with digestive health, mental health, gastrointestinal health. Your general health may help with having less colds, vaginal infections such as yeast or UTIs, eczema, acne, bloating, irregular bowel movements, and just overall supports the immune system.
Prostitute and New Catholic Jaden Vance is.
Okay. Any final words this morning? Is Helen still with us this morning?
Helene is still here. It's Heleen, Helene.
Okay, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that this morning. I hope everyone enjoyed that. If you have not been taking your Atomy probiotics, it's about time. Yes. Your fish oils, your omega-3s, your vitamin Ds, and let's get our fiber going. Let's be doing our berries, our polyphenols. Anyone want to make a contribution before we go this morning?
Yes, great video, CJ. Thank you. The last one, the doctor talking about our gut health. The kefir, I can add to those of us who like cabbage. You can make your own fermented with cabbage. It's very, very good. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Him talking about all of the microbiome that we have to be so careful of. And I like the fact that he emphasized, as I always say to myself, that everything is not in the supplements. You have to be very careful about the food that you eat. And we are blessed these days because there are all kind of information on the internet about what we should eat. And as we age, you cannot eat the same thing. Even the veggies and the fruit are not necessarily good for you after 60 that you've been eating in your younger years. So that's my addition to the conversation.
Well said, well said, well said.
And I just have a quick question for Dr. Lloyd. Please, Dr. Lloyd, I don't know if you can help me with this question. My young lady, the patient that had the open heart surgery, I was thinking of giving her the Atomy probiotics, but I was wondering, since that there's I think it's not too much, but it's a little trace, Dr. Lloyd, of blueberries in the Atomy probiotics. And because blueberries have vitamin K, I was wondering if I should try her with recommend the probiotics to her. What do you think?
Hi, Valerie.
Hi.
Yeah, the little bit of blueberry probably would be okay, but since she had heart surgery, you got to pass everything through her cardiologist or cardiothoracic surgeon or the cardiologist. Sometimes, when they're on a lot of antibiotics, they do prescribe probiotics for them as well sometimes, especially if they get diarrhea from the excessive antibiotics. I don't know if she has any of that, but I think it would be good for her to kind of have
Check
a
with the
talk.
doctor.
Yeah, have a talk with the doctor and tell her tell her or him that she wants to take the natural route as much as possible. And these are some of the supplements she's thinking about taking. Could you really
Mhm.
take a good look at this? Do you think these probiotics are okay? That kind of thing. This is
Right,
have
right.
a heart to heart
She.
talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no,
Because
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
it's all right. Because this cardiologist that was just featured, he is
Mm-hmm.
very unusual, but he exists, right? So maybe she can find someone that is also pro nutrition and respects going the natural route whenever possible. But she has to
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
active with asking the traditional cardiologists. Be
Yes.
honest with
Okay.
you, won't be bothered. Like they'll just say no and they'll move on. To be
Yes.
honest.
Yes.
But if she can just with intention, all intention, have a sit down talk and say, this is what I want to do. I want to live a healthy life. I want to move on with, doing as much natural remedies as possible, and ask
Yes.
and have them, kind of push them in a nice way to really look at it objectively rather than their subjective way of just discounting anything over the counter or, not wanting to do the work on their own to check it out to see whether it's really okay or not.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of
Mhm.
fact, she actually mentioned going to CVS
Uh-huh.
to get probiotics, and I said, "Hold on, no, we're not
Right,
going to
right, right.
CVS.
No.
We are not going to CVS."
No, no, no,
So yeah.
no, no. Who knows where that
All those
probiotic
fellas
was
that, oh
was yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
because
and which is another subject for another day, because unfortunately, and she's only 37 years old, but I'm into Medicare, and a lot of my clients, because they're getting these over the counter medications from the company, they think that all these supplements are equal. I'm like, no, they are not. You
no.
they are not. You need to read. Oh, it's just so sad, Dr. Lloyd. I think uh,
Mm-hmm.
we are in a time where you have to read absolutely
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Right,
And
right.
I remind myself, and I sometimes say this to people, that you also need to remember that these supplements and uh, vitamins, it's a billion dollar
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go
Mm-hmm.
out there just trusting every vitamin and supplement that you're getting. And
Mm-hmm.
especially when they start using the word it's free, don't
Mm-hmm.
go there, don't do that. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
thank you. I will share this with her right now as soon as I get off the call so that she can maybe write it down and check with her cardiologist before she take. So I'm not going to give her the Atomy probiotics. We'll wait until she clears with the doctor. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Dr. Lloyd.
sure,
Thank you.
sure. Valerie just brought up a point that I would like to make to you all about the manufacturing of supplements and medications. Some of you may already know this, but it's very important to know that there are a lot of manufacturing plants for supplements, and they're not FDA regulated, but there's also FDA regulated pharmaceutical manufacturing plants that are not up to par, and they are FDA. They get cited, and then they may make some changes, but they still stay on the market even though they're not doing the right things. They're being cited, they pay a fine, and whatever. So even the regulated manufacturing plants have issues. There should be sterile environments, and then instead they find that there's rodent drippings and other things going on in these regulated environments. Much less what you think is happening behind the closed doors with the unregulated manufacturing plants. I can just imagine, these are not being evaluated. They don't have to, as opposed to in Korea where they have to be pass certain regulations before they're made public in South Korea. So I think that's a great advantage that we have when we're talking to people about taking supplements, whatever they're taking, vitamins, minerals, and all this stuff that they're maybe taking, and they don't know what's in it, and they don't know the environment in which it was made. So you're putting something in their body that is very unknown and could potentially be ineffective because it's not really containing what they think it is, or it could, worse, be harmful. So it's something to know, and it's a selling point that you can relay to your potential clients.
Great. That's a great point, Dr. Lloyd. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thank you, Dr. Lloyd. I think that's a powerful note to close out on, that it's no joke. We really are aligned here with a company that is all about excellence. Excellence, excellence, quality, the price, and the integrity. So perhaps I could just close out with a video about the Atomy difference. What makes Atomy different? And we're all here. So thank you, Dr. Lloyd, for just bringing that conversation to the front, that we really ought to be very discerning when it comes to supplementation. Okay, so the Atomy difference, and we are out of here.
Walk into any pharmacy, pick up any bottle. What you're holding costs a fraction of what you paid for it. The beauty industry marks up products by 800%, supplement companies by 500, and most network marketing companies charge you just to play. But in 2009, a man in South Korea decided to build something different, something that would make every other company look expensive. This is what happens when absolute quality meets absolute honesty. Here is how most products reach you. A manufacturer makes it. A national distributor buys it. A regional distributor marks it up. A retailer marks it up again. Every layer takes its cut for all of it. By the time a product reaches your hands, you have paid for 4 or 5 businesses to profit, none of which made the product any better. Atomy eliminated every single one of those layers. The product ships directly into the network. No warehouses, no retail floors, no 30-second television spots. The money that would have gone to middlemen goes into the product instead. Most supplement brands invest more in the label than the formula. Glossy packaging, celebrity endorsements, health claims that sound impressive but mean very little. Hemahim was different from the start. 8 years of government-funded research, peer-reviewed, clinically tested, originally developed to protect the scientists inside a nuclear research facility. Its active compounds target immune function at the cellular level. That is not marketing language. That is biochemistry. And it costs a fraction of what lesser supplements charge. Not because corners were cut, because the middlemen were removed. The luxury skincare market is built on a beautiful illusion that a higher price means better results. That paying $300 for a moisturizer actually does something a $30 one cannot. Dermatologists know the truth. The active ingredients that work, retinol, peptides, hyaluronic acid, are the same across price points. What you are paying for is the box, the boutique, and the brand name. Absolute Cell Active contains clinical concentrations of those same actives, delivered through patented technology that targets troubled skin areas specifically, which most luxury brands cannot claim. Independent lab tests have placed it alongside products costing 10 times its price. The difference? Atomy has nothing to hide and no celebrity to pay. Traditional network marketing companies earn their reputation. Joining fees, monthly quotas, inventory you must buy before you have sold anything. A structure where the people at the top get most of the money. Atomy was designed to be the opposite. Zero joining fee, zero monthly minimums, zero mandatory purchases. If you buy nothing this month, you owe nothing this month. The binary plan has a feature almost no other company offers, an income ceiling at the very top. When a mastership earner hits their cap, the excess flows to their downline. Wealth is distributed, not concentrated. Your personal point value never expires. You build at your own pace. And the company only succeeds when its members do, because members are the only customers. The numbers tell the story. Atomy launched in 2009. By 2018, it had crossed $1 billion in annual revenue. Today, it operates in more than 26 regions across 6 continents. That growth did not come from advertising. It came from people who tried the products, told someone they trusted, and watched it work. Every company in this space will tell you they are different. Atomy is one of the few that can prove it, with a structure built from the beginning to serve the member, not extract from them. The question was never whether a company like this could exist. The question was whether someone had the courage to build it. Hongil Park did, and the world noticed.
And so, we have a company. The culture is a culture of excellence. Hongil Park lay on his back in the hospital, waiting death. Someone introduced him to Hemohim. He had severe liver damage, and he survived. And he's on a mission, taking Atomy to the world. Absolute quality, absolute price. So if you know what I know, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, Atomy is rapidly changing, and AI is going to propel Atomy out there in the stratosphere, right beside your Walmart, right beside your Amazon. It's happening, but this time around, it's quality products at the quality price. Absolute quality, absolute price. And so just a word as it relates to probiotics. You go to your Walmart store, your Amazon, you're getting your probiotics with 4 to 5 different strains. Over in Atomy, those probiotics, 12 strains. Your prebiotics and your probiotics. Figure. My word to KJ, I have posted all the videos in the chat this morning so you can grab a hold of what you need. It's all there. And I'm also going to post it over in the Momentum Morning WhatsApp chat. So I got you, brother. I got you.
Thank you,
All
CJ.
right. You're welcome. Absolutely. All right. No charge, no charge, no charge. So I thank you all, Dr. Lloyd, for your co-hosting with me, and Ode and Valerie. I don't see Benjamin this morning, but thank you all. And for those who came on the call for the first time, you missed the company video. In the interest of time, we had to jump over that. We didn't feature the Hemohim, but we normally bring on stage our standalone feature product called the Hemohim. But I apologize, but we'll bring that on stage tomorrow. And great seeing you, Vanessa. Thank you for your input. Oh, it was very inspiring. I can tell you that. Yeah. It's about seasons. It's about pattern recognition, pattern utilization, and pattern creation. So, folks, I bid you a wonderful, super productive day. See you tomorrow, 9:45 in the pregame, 10 o'clock showtime. Aja, Aja, Aja.
Aja, Aja, Aja.
Aja.
Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. You too. Thanks, CJ.
Thank you.
Thank you.